The streets were his enemy. Each shadow held a threat. For Mark, just walking home was a test of courage. He was different. Mark was born with a facial difference. Kids called him names. They tripped him, shoved him, made him cry. The world felt cold and cruel. Years passed, the torment continued. Mark felt broken. He was tired of hiding. One day something inside him snapped. He couldn't live like this anymore. He deserved better. He deserved respect. Mark saw a help wanted sign. It was for a janitor at a local factory. It wasn't much, but it was a chance to escape the streets to prove his worth. With a deep breath and a flicker of hope, Mark walked in. He was hired that day. The work was hard. Long hours, heavy lifting, cleaning up other people's messes. But Mark didn't complain. He worked with a ferocity that surprised even himself. Each swipe of the broom, each emptied trash can, fueled his determination. The factory floor was loud, machines roared, metal clanged. But Mark found solace in the rhythm of work. He learned everything. How the machines worked, how products were made, how the business ran. He wasn't just cleaning anymore. He was observing, learning, growing. The other workers noticed his dedication. They started relying on him, asking for his help, his opinions. Mark had become an asset. He wasn't just the janitor anymore. He was a valuable part of the team. One day the factory owner fell ill. The business was in trouble. No one knew what to do except Mark. He had an idea, a risky, unconventional idea, but Mark believed in himself. He presented his plan to the worried workers. To their surprise, they listened and agreed. Mark worked tirelessly, day and night. He implemented his plan. Slowly but surely, the factory began to recover. Production increased, profits rose. What started as a desperate attempt to save the factory had become their salvation. Word spread about the janitor who saved the factory. The owner, now recovered, was eternally grateful. He saw something special in Mark. He promoted him, first a supervisor, then a manager. Each step was a giant leap forward. Mark never forgot where he came from. He treated every worker with respect, kindness. He remembered the sting of being looked down upon. He created a workplace of equality where hard work was rewarded, not mocked. Years later, the owner decided to retire. He offered to sell the factory to Mark. It seemed impossible. A kid from the streets owning a factory? But Mark had never backed down from a challenge. He accepted. With grit and determination, Mark transformed the factory. He modernized equipment, improved working conditions, expanded their reach. The factory flourished. Mark, the once bullied boy, was now a successful entrepreneur. He had achieved the impossible. Mark never forgot the faces of his tormentors. He never sought revenge. He didn't need to. His success was his revenge. He had risen above them, but fate, it seemed, had other plans. One day, a group of men came to his office. They were desperate. Their business was failing. They needed a loan only Mark could give. As they pleaded their case, Mark recognized them, the bullies from his past. Mark listened patiently. Then he stood up. He looked at each of them, his gaze unwavering. He told them he knew who they were. He recounted the years of torment, the pain they inflicted. He spoke of his journey, his struggles, his triumphs. Silence filled the room. The bullies were speechless. They expected anger, retribution. Instead, Mark offered them a deal. He would help them. He would give them a chance, but they had to earn it. They had to work for it, just like he did.